What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Sean Meehan, and joining me as always is my partner in crime, Mr. Ciara Lawler.
I'm excited about episode 99, Sean. I cannot wait to see what happens.
In many ways, it's more honourable to do episode 99 than to do episode 100, isn't it? I would say the person who does 99, they have the real guts in the organisation.
Would you say that just because you're doing 99 and inevitably I'm doing 100?
Sure, no, not at all, Connor. Let's move on for a bit.
Fair enough. Also, next week, episode 100, who could you do from DC that's half decent? I can't think of anyone, Sean, but as usual...
Well, DC's characters are trash.
Trash, and thankfully, this week, we've got a good Marvel character. So, Sean, you normally do Marvel, I do DC, so I'm excited to find out who you did this week.
Well, Connor, if I said Dolly the sheep to you?
Yeah.
What kind of things would that invoke?
Was that the sheep that got cloned?
It was, Connor.
It was?
That's exactly what you're meant to think of.
Okay, and other than that, I've got Sean the sheep in my head, so nothing really.
Okay, well, I'm doing Sean the sheep for Heroes.
Fucking hell!
No, I'm doing the first clone of Peter Parker, Kaine.
Are you for real? We're going to have to stop this before the report starts to say the point that the Clone Saga of Spider-Man is one of the worst storylines ever put to print. It went on for about 17 years. There was about 44 plot twists. Everybody was dead, then alive, then cloned, then dead again, then back alive. So I'm excited to find out. First clone of Peter Parker. I'm sure this won't be nonsensical and a bit, all over the place. Please, continue.
I'm going to it's written in my notes to preface this, that the Clone Saga is a bit nonsensical and all over the place. But... we're going to do a quick run through the character, not the entire Clone Saga, but I'm going to touch on some elements of it. So, basically, there was a man named Miles Warren. Okay, Miles Warren is also known as the Jackal in Marvel Comics.
Okay,
and he was a genius biologist who fell in love with Gwen Stacy.
Who doesn't? Lovely gal.
Lovely Emma Stone. Amazing.
Fair play to her. What an actress.
And so he fell in love with her, but then famously in comics, Gwen Stacy dies. She's thrown off of a bridge, and Spider-Man pushed off of a bridge.
Pushed by Spider-Man, if I remember correctly.
Not by Spider-Man. No. Spider-Man, depending on who you ask, did kill her.
Yeah, he broke her neck.
Yeah, she was dead anyway, but he just kind of made it a bit faster.
He kicked her dead body a few times afterwards too. It was very weird.
It just spit on her. It was awful.
Stupid Gwen.
Someone drew that.
This is for kids.
But so the Jackal, in rage, swore revenge against the person that he saw as the reason that Gwen Stacy died, and that was Spider-Man. So he collected some of Spider-Man's DNA, in the process learning that Spider-Man was Peter Parker, and Kaine was the first successful clone of the hero. Okay?
Okay.
Now, initially he appeared to be a success, but flaws in the cloning process led him to quickly becoming deformed and mentally unstable.
That's a good cloning device. Well done. How long did it last? Maybe an hour? 2?
Well, Kaine is still kicking. I'm not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
But he's some things happen because he's a popular enough character.
Yeah, fair enough.
So Warren, the Jackal, hoping to get some more information from the failure, didn't destroy him. Basically, he kept him around to see how long he'd survive kind of his entire body rejecting itself. Kaine was not happy.
Seems a bit harsh, to be fair.
It is. If you think about that, this dude has just been essentially born, and he's just been like, I'm going to watch you die to see how long it takes.
What a guy. What a classy guy.
Well, feeling rejected by the Jackal,
which you would.
He left the mad professor, and he soon discovered that this degradation had gifted him with powers that Peter Parker did not have.
Right.
So His physical abilities and his strength were boosted beyond Spider-Man's, and his spider sense was increased to the point that he had precognition, as in he could actually see what was going to happen.
Wait, he was Spider-Man like on steroids? Like better than Spider-Man? Holy shit, because when you said he is the more strength, I'm like, Spider-Man is the strongest character. Like, he's so strong. So the idea that there's somebody stronger and also has the ability to see the future, I would say that's dangerous. A dangerous combo.
It really is. And one of the things about Spider-Man that might not be terribly well publicised is that he's not just a wall crawler because he's part spider. He can... Anything that he wants to stay stuck to him will stay stuck to him. And to the point that, like, people cannot physically take off Spider-Man's mask because he sticks it to his own face.
I did not know that. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Like, Spider-Man could hang off a building by his fingertip. But this was also amplified in Kaine. And so Kaine developed what was called the Mark of Kaine. So he would find a criminal and he would push his bare hand against their face and then stick it and rip it away.
What? Holy shit. Okay.
So they will be forever marked as a criminal.
Do they lose their face?
No, it's like fingertips. It's like 5 points.
Oh,
and just ripped away.
So you've got
Kaine
5 holes in your face.
Badass.
Oh my god.
And like, you know, it's not just like a scrape. It's like ripping the flesh off of your face.
I think that's a step too. I mean, go to start with, hey, don't rob that bank. I would not go immediately to ripping skin off faces.
Well, to be fair, mental degradation.
Yeah, he's not all there, to be fair. I forgot he was born into just torture from a very young age.
Yeah, like he's around for about a week once he develops this.
Yeah, he's like a week old and he has the power of just like to destroy everything. Oh, interesting.
So the Jackal continued to create clones of Spider-Man, eventually creating one that would come to be known as Ben Reilly. Now, Ben Reilly I'll cover in another report. He's outside the scope of this.
Okay.
But what the Jackal did was he set Ben Reilly against Spider-Man, and the battle ended with both Reilly and the Jackal assumed dead. In reality, however, the Jackal had created a clone of himself that had died in his stead, while he remained in stasis in a cloning pod.
This is our first incidence of just all over the place clone saga goodness. They just kept throwing shit at the big wall, and they hoped that every time there was a plot twist, somebody had already been cloned before. And we're not even at the worst of it yet. No, this is the start.
So you have the Jackal in a cloning pod in stasis, and Ben Reilly also survived, but he fled New York after he realised he was a clone. Okay? However, unbeknownst to anyone, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, had switched the Jackal's files around, making it appear that Peter Parker was the clone and Ben Reilly was the original.
I just have in my head just like Norman Osborn just moving one file a yard ahead of it in the filing cabinet. The perfect crime. He like rips off P. Parker and puts it on B. Reilly. Nailed it. Okay then.
Well done, Green Goblin.
Taps himself on the back. He's just narrating everything he does.
So when Kaine came across these files, he believed them, and he began to stalk Ben, who he believed was Peter.
But why? Sorry, not to go back, but why was the Green Goblin doing this? Like, what did he get from that?
General chaos.
Just a general sense of, well, I fucked that one up.
I'll be honest, Connor, the comic was selling very well.
It's just a scene where Norman Osborn, who we haven't seen up to this point, turns up, moves a file a yard and then goes, that's exactly what the plot needed. I'm glad I'm here. Okay.
So Kaine at the minute is stalking Ben Reilly, who he thinks is Peter Parker. Okay? During this time, Kaine became romantically involved with a detective named Louise Kennedy. although he killed her when he discovered that she was working for criminals.
Yeah. How is he still, like, getting romantic relationships if he's already, like, a hideous monster who can rip people's faces off with a single touch?
He has a lot of, like, long hair and beard, so you can't really see his face and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a bit of a mystery man. He's got a bit of charm, though.
Actually, this guy comes out of nowhere, always wears gloves.
I never know what he's thinking. I never know. That's so attractive.
He can see the future.
Actually, to be fair.
The event of him killing the woman he loved weakened his already tenuous grasp on his sanity.
Yeah.
Which it led him to make it appear that Janine Goodby, a woman that Ben was romantically involved with, had killed herself. Okay?
This is so fucking stupid. Go on.
Not content to leave it at that.
Norman Osborn turned up. Better move one girl in front of the other. Here we go.
So he then framed Ben Reilly, who he thinks is Peter Parker, for various murders, as they had the same fingerprints.
Just really quickly, could you just slow down? I'm doing red string on the wall here. Okay, so he framed perfect. Ben because he thinks he's Peter. But Peter and Ben have the same fingerprints, so technically it's kind of worked out.
Yes.
Right.
So in his deranged state, his reasoning for doing this would be that it would allow the other clone to have the life that he was robbed of. Okay? But what he doesn't know here is that the clone he's helping is Peter, who's the original.
Yeah. Yes. I'm still with you. So
perfect.
He's confused.
He's very confused.
Like many of us. Like many of us currently. It'd be hard not to get confused. I'm not even writing the story, but surely when they were writing this, they must have had like a massive whiteboard of plots and where they were already, so they weren't like cross-linking and they weren't like ruining each other's stories every single issue. Yeah,
and like Connor, imagine trying to have to summarise this.
I genuinely never thought you would try and tackle the Clone War or the Clone Saga.
The Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars, maybe. Clone Saga, not so much.
Not at all. So Ben Reilly eventually returned to New York to visit the ill Aunt May.
Right.
Kaine followed him.
To what end? What's his relation to Aunt May?
Well, she knows him kinda because he looks like her nephew.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. Bear in mind here, Kaine still thinks Ben is Peter, but Ben is actually Ben, and Peter is Ben in Kaine's mind. Okay.
But also later on, don't they swap, and that Ben is Peter for like ages?
Yeah, Peter throws Ben down a chimney at one point, but it's actually Ben throwing Peter, I think.
The best. Okay, keep going.
So Kaine had by this point become a mob hitman, and he was more than willing to use his lethal skills to keep Ben out of Peter's life. So he still thinks he's protecting the clone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So at this point, his precognitive spider sense that we mentioned earlier alerted him to the fact that Mary Jane's life was in danger. We all know Mary Jane. Spider-Man loves her.
Yeah, well, he already broke one woman's neck, and he's moved on to the next.
He loves breaking necks, that Spider-Man.
I don't think we talk about enough how much of a serial killer Spider-Man actually is. But please, Comedy Holland, I'm looking at you.
You're going to love this next sentence, because Kaine went on a killing spree.
Yes! Let's go!
Desperate to prevent Mary Jane's death, he murdered any villain he deemed a potential threat, such as Dr. Octopus.
He killed Dr. Octopus.
He murdered Dr. Octopus in
my
cold
mind,
blood.
Dr. Octopus is just like he's just at home watching TV in boxer shorts, and like the arms are getting like a beer out of the fridge, and Kaine just comes in shotgun in hand and blows his face off. And he's like, dude, he was doing nothing.
So Dr. Octopus, it's comics, so he eventually came back to life, but he had a fear of Kaine, and he took steps to prevent future encounters from ending the same as it just did.
Okay.
So these brutal attacks brought Kaine to the attention of both Peter and Ben. And Ben was at this point going by Scarlet Spider. He was acting as a superhero.
Okay.
So, to further complicate matters...
Yes, I didn't... For a few seconds there, we were actually running smoothly. There was like a kinetic energy to the story in that I was like, oh, this plot is starting to make some sense. So, please, throw in what's next.
So, Kaine's killing spree was placed on police bulletin boards across the nation. And when the news reached Salt Lake City, Louise Kennedy, the woman he loved and killed, her former partner, recognised the MO. So they left for New York, eager to bring Kaine to justice.
Wait, so the former boyfriend of the woman he loved then travelled across America to kill this man?
I don't think it was boyfriend. I think it was like police partner.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Oh no, partner in that way. Okay, fair enough.
Yes. Perfect. So eventually, Kaine and Peter fought, and Peter demanded that Kaine turn himself in for his behaviour.
Now, does he still think Peter is Ben?
As far as I know, it's cleared up at this point.
Okay, well, Jesus, thank God. There's a moment where he's like, I am so embarrassed. Honestly, there is egg on my face, lads. Sorry about this. And he just backs away from Peter. You know what? This is on me. This one's on me. Okay.
And so, yeah, he takes full responsibility. But, okay, because it was like a mock trial, like Carnage is the prosecutor and shit like that.
Okay.
Absolutely designed for like a good comic cover.
Yes, absolutely.
So Peter is imprisoned for the crimes Kaine committed, and you might remember this. Yeah. He, Kaine, and Ben share the same fingerprints.
Okay, right. So now we've got 3 people with the same fingerprints. Peter, the original, is in jail. The 2 clones are out. But one of the clones is being chased by the police partner of a former girlfriend that he killed.
Yes.
And Ben...
Exactly, you've got it now.
Ben is on his own. He's just hanging about being the Iron Woman, like.
Well, Ben takes Peter's place and goes to prison instead of him. Because, again, same fingerprints.
Okay. Right.
So Kaine and Peter eventually fought, and Kaine revealed his origin as Peter's clone and told Peter he had done everything to protect him.
But would Peter not be able to figure that out from the fact... Oh no, so I suppose he doesn't look like Peter Parker. Yeah, I was going to say...
No, he's degenerated, like, horribly.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay.
So eventually Kaine was taken into custody because Peter just said to him, okay, you've done everything you can to give me a normal life. If you don't turn yourself in, I'm going to unmask myself in front of everyone, and it's all going to be for nothing.
Jesus. Peter playing hardball.
Yeah, and so he does it. So Kaine goes up and he leaves the mark of Kaine on the judge's podium, and everyone's like, oh, okay, it's clearly him. Perfect.
Right, okay.
Okay. So after the trial, Peter and Ben went to SeaWorld trainer.
I thought you were going to say SeaWorld. They went to SeaWorld.
Went to SeaWorld, see some orcas.
You know how conditions. It is. Horrible conditions, but it's a fun day out for the fam. That's what
bit of candy floss, yourself. So they were hoping to... SeaWorld trainer's a man, by the way. They were hoping to finally discover who was the original. Okay? Much to their shock, the results claimed that Ben was actually the original. Now, it would later be discovered that Norman Osborn had influenced Trainer to tamper with the results.
For what reason? Why is Norman just being here being a shit thing? Like, he's just a bit of shithousery. That's all he's pulling here. Like,
it is all shithousery.
He's at home in his big mansion going, how can I ruin Peter Parker's day? Well, I could beat him up. Or secondly, I could swap files with his clothes so he doesn't think he's real. He might have an identity crisis and I kick the shit out of him.
It's mental torture he's going for these days.
Okay.
So I'm getting near to... I'm going to stop it kind of after the Clone Saga, because after that it becomes even more insane.
Okay.
So Peter, furious with the revelation that his life was a lie, he thinks this, Peter went to the Jackal. Okay? After hearing that Peter had gone to see the Jackal, Kaine arrived as well, ready to finally end the life of his quote-unquote father.
Right, so now he's like, I'm going to help you, Peter. We're going to work together and kick the shit out of this guy.
Exactly. However, the Jackal tricked Kaine into believing that he would cure him of his degeneration. Which, to be fair, if you're Kaine, that sounds like a pretty sweet deal. It's like, hey, you know this constant pain you're in all the time? I can stop it.
But that would mean more coming from anybody else, because other than the person that put you in all that pain to begin with.
Oh, of course, yeah. But again, mental degeneration.
Yeah, he's not the brightest soul. Okay.
After this was revealed to be yet another lie, Kaine left dejected.
Oh, damn. Oh, shucks. And he's like kicking a rock as he leaves.
No longer certain about what to do, he went to Mary Jane. She taught him about Peter's code of responsibility, which reinvigorated him. Kaine then hurried to the Jackal's lab, arriving just in time to help Ben battle numerous spider clones. Okay?
Okay.
During the battle, Kaine saved the Jackal from Spider-Side. Okay, now Spider-Side is the 5th clone of Peter Parker.
Right. You are doing such a good job with this. Keep it up.
Okay. So he saved the Jackal from Spider-Side and was impaled on a masonry spike.
Oh, no. Oh. He went out saving the man who ruined his life.
Exactly. So the Jackal said, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah, which you would say because he's tricked him multiple times.
Multiple times. But Kaine just replies, "You gave me life."
Right, okay.
So Kaine, in some weird way, he's like, I would not be here if it wasn't for this dude. You know? Which I still don't think... They're not even, you know?
No. Even if you did create him, but then you gave him the worst life ever, does that still count?
I mean, it counts for something, but not everything.
You're in certainly the plus margin for the creation, but there's a lot of minuses. There's a lot of negatives on the opposite side.
There's a lot of dead people because you fucked around with DNA.
He's taken so many people's faces. That's too many people.
In repayment of Kaine saving his life, the Jackal placed Kaine in a regeneration pod. When the pod was next seen, Kaine was not in it.
What? Okay, he's gone back to Metropolis. Oh, shit.
He goes through a bunch of stuff. It's beyond the scope of this video. I really just wanted to cover his origin and some of his powers, okay?
Right. Also, you said video. Are we putting this up on, like, Instagram Live?
Oh, no, sorry at all. I meant this Telegram.
Are you streaming this right now? Are you on Twitch?
Look, can I get some Fs in the chat, guys?
Chop some rips in the chat, please, guys.
Chop some rips. But one thing I just want to mention is that eventually Kaine ends up becoming a superhero. He ends up going down to Mexico and helping people there, and they call him Araña Escalarta, which is the Scarlet Spider.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And Kaine hates being called the Scarlet Spider because he made Ben Reilly's life miserable for a very long time.
He did. He did ruin Ben Reilly's life. It was a combination of him and Norman Osborn's terrible filing.
Maybe that was it. It was all accidents on Osborn's part.
He's just a bit of... He's not great in the office environment. You know how it is. He's always putting things in the wrong place.
So then I want to go on to his powers quickly, and then I'll do the rating system. So Kaine has superhuman strength, like Peter Parker. He can lift approximately 40 tons. Over time and after further mutation, his physical strength increased to the point of being able to lift 60 tons. He was able to beat Rhino unconscious and hold his own against Peter Parker, Ben Reilly and Spider-Side at the same time.
Holy balls on a cracker. Fucking hell.
Yeah, so he could hold off 3 Spider-Men at once, essentially.
He is Spider-Man, but just like juiced up to the max.
Yeah, and that does come with like the mental instability and the degradation and everything like that. But
you know what I mean? You gotta make some sacrifices if you want to be strong.
Gotta break some omelettes, you know?
You gotta break some omelettes to make a few eggs, Sean.
He also has superhuman speed, superhuman stamina, superhuman durability, superhuman agility. He's just as agile as Spider-Man, for example, even with the extra strength.
I would say more so if he can see the future.
That's also true. Yeah, so now but the thing is he can't always control that, so sometimes he'll be in the middle of a fight and he'll get a vision and he'll just be out of action for a few seconds.
The vision is him getting knocked out while he stands still and looks into the distance.
I wonder how that's going to happen.
Oh shit.
He has a limited healing factor, so it's pretty strong but not like Deadpool levels of healing.
Okay.
Wall crawling. Stick to virtually any surface and crawl across it just as Spider-Man is capable of. His control over this ability has been increased to such a degree he can rip a wall down by tugging at it hard enough with his palms.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Fucking hell, he's so strong.
He also has, as we discussed, the mark of Kaine, which he also uses to trim his beard.
That would be a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you're shaving, you might like cut yourself slightly. If I was doing that with like my superpowers, I'd be very worried the whole face was going to come off one go.
It's like, you've seen that happen a dozen times at least.
Yeah. I don't understand. I think the fear would get me.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I would just have a big mountain man beard.
Personal grooming would not be for me if I could rip off my face by accident.
Not at all. You'd wear gloves at a urinal, let's just say that.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
He also has organic webbing. So, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he doesn't need web shooters. It's natural in him.
Yeah.
And he has an ability, he can create a psychic alignment with arthropods, so he can control spiders, essentially.
Right, so he's like Ant-Man as well.
Yeah, there's a good element of that in it, which is terrifying if you think about it, because imagine all the spiders in Manhattan.
Oh,
and then
God.
all of them coming at you.
Yeah, now, I think he would beat Peter Parker then.
Certainly at his height he would. Now, I'm about to get onto the 1 to 7 rating system, and he's been significantly depowered.
Okay.
In recent comics.
Because it wouldn't have made sense. They had to nerf him because you can't have a Spider-Man who's more powerful than the original Spider-Man.
Exactly. That's literally it. So he has a durability of 3, energy projection of 0, fighting skills of 4, intelligence of 4, speed of 3, and strength of 4 at the minute.
But a lot of them would have been 5s and 6s.
Yeah, exactly. And no, it doesn't sound terribly impressive when you say it like that, but if you put him up against most other heroes, 3 is superb, peak human. You know, so he's above that in, say, fighting skills and strength and intelligence, you know. So he's not a wimp by any means.
No, I wouldn't fuck with him.
No, certainly not. You get your face ripped off.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was a very good report, Sean, because the Clone Saga, we've only just dipped our toe in that, and it's still batshit insane even in that small window. I'm thinking of covering kind of the main players of that saga, and then hopefully we'll have a decent understanding of what went on. Yeah, because even now I'm kind of like, okay, we have it from his side, but there was 7 different people going at once. Yeah, Ben Reilly's story is going to be even more in depth, I'd say, because he did so much more. Yeah, that was a good report, Sean. I like that. Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
Cheers. Would you like to take us out?
Yeah, I was about to ask you. That is so weird.
We're so in sync, boy.
Also,
You're like spiders and I'm Kaine.
Shut up. Next week is our 100 episode of all 3 of our shows, and we are going to be recording in person. So we will be together in the same room for a few episodes. Let's see how it goes. And we have a Q&A on Monday, so if you want to send any questions, please send them over. Wednesday and Friday, still up in the air. We're still throwing ideas about, because we're going to be there in person. We can just kind of chat shit, if anybody wants.
If you listen to that, that's fine.
And maybe a Hero Zero on a DC character that we all know and love. If you want to go
Arm
over
fall
to
off boy.
Arm fall off boy. If you want to support us, you can go over to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. If you give $5 or more a month, you get every episode that we've done of the Lazarus Pit, which is PELP, Patreon exclusive Lazarus Pit. It's which we go back and watch an old movie and see if it still holds up. So you will get the content such as maybe the Daredevil movie review. We've Batman and Robin, X-Men First Class. We've had Batman Begins. They're all over there. You'll unlock all of those extra episodes. There's one every month. So you can go over there now. If you can't do that, you can follow us on Twitter at Heroes for Hire Pod. The 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Heroes for Hire Podcast. Instagram is Heroes for Hire Podcast. And more than anything, just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one.
I've been Ciara Lawler.
I'm Sean Mean.
I will see you next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.